So something I think would be absolutely fun for my channel is going through every type in the game of Pokemon and making a gym team for each gym if I were a gym leader of that team. So, for example, I would go from gym 1 all the way to 8 talking about a type. So, for the start, I want to talk about the bug type because the bug type is my favorite type in all of Pokemon and I just love it. So that's why I want to start with. So some rules real quickly. I think Gym 1 should always have two Pokemon. Gym 2 should have two for free Pokemon regularly, right? Gym 3 should always have three. Gym 4 should have three. Gym 5 should have four. Gym 6 can have five for four. Gym 7 should have four for five. And Gym 5 should always have five Pokemon, in my opinion. I think that's just how it works. I do think for certain types, some Pokemon types can have different number of Pokemon. So for example, in this one, I do have four Pokemon in the fourth gym for Bug. So yeah, I think going through the criteria, I'll go over the teams now. So for the first gym, I think my ace Pokemon will be a Scyther, because again, Scizor is my favorite Pokemon, and I think Scyther's a cool Pokemon, and I think it would be really, really awesome to do. So for my first Pokemon, I will have Yanma at level 12, because I feel like that's a good area to be. And for the movesets, I kind of just balanced it off of the levels. So I was going through Pokemon database, right? And just looking through the levels of which moves each Pokemon learns, right? So for example, Yanma learns Sonic Boom, Gust, and Quick Attack very early on, right? So that's kind of like my criteria, right? Obviously, for some Pokemon, I do give them like TMs because like it makes a big sense and giving them better movesets because I don't want to just give them bad movesets. I want to give them somewhat decent, but I don't want to make them overpowered, like giving Earthquake to, let's say, Scolipede at level 30, right? So yeah. So again, the CMA's Sonic Boom, Gust, and Quick Attack. I think those are solid, just Pokemon moves. I think Sonic Boom can give quite of a challenge because early games Sonic Boom does quite a lot too. And then for Scyther, I didn't give it Technician just yet. I feel like Technician is too strong for the first gym, so I gave it Swarm. And for the moves, I gave it Wing Attack, Quick Attack, Fury Cutter, and Leer. I feel like those are somewhat balanced moves for the first gym, right? Because I don't want to make everything too powerful just yet. For the second gym, I decided to give it a Whirlipede because I feel like Whirlipede is a solid around Pokemon that's not too powerful, but can give a decent amount of challenge, right? And then I love the up Yanma to level 19 because I feel like that's a good enough level raise depending on which area of the game, you know. Because like some gyms they have like level 19, some have lower levels. I was just trying to balance out a little bit more, you know. And for this one, I gave it access to the moves Aerial Ace and Silver Wind because I feel like those are relatively solid moves, and I feel like Yanma can use them pretty well. I mean, it's not the strongest Pokemon out there, but it can relatively use them decently well, at least. And then for Whirlipede, I made it level 20, because I feel like that's a good area for Whirlipede, right? And I gave it the ability Poison Point, because I feel like Poison Point is a really good ability for early gyms, right? And I didn't want to give it Speed Boost, because I feel like that could really scare people with, like, Rollout, right? Because Rollout boosts up power every time you use it, right? And each time it hits. And I also gave it Screech, Poison Tail, and Bug Bite, just because they're good enough stab moves, right? And then Screech is just a filler move that can lower a defense, right? So I feel like that's a good enough move to give it, right? And then again, Scyther's my ace because I like Scyther at level 22. And pretty much I just gave it Aerial Ace instead of Wing Attack, gave it Bug Bite for stab move, and then Double Hit just for a solid hitting move, right? So I think this is solid overall. And then for Gym 3, I just kind of just gave them more power. Oops, I already went For did I? No. Oh shoot! No, wait. Did I just copy my gyms? Oh no! Oh no! Never mind. I just powered up. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm no, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. So I pretty much just boosted up to level 22, gave it Sonic, Supersonic, and yeah, there's something two different about Yanma. And the same thing with Whirlipede just leveled up because again, I don't want to make it too different. And yeah, pretty much just this team is just leveled up. I got confused. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. And then Gym 4. I kind of boost up the power level because yeah. Side note, I kind of realized that I forgot I gave Scyther for Gym 3 Technician. But anyways, going back to Gym 4. For Gym 4, I gave a Glycopod to my team, evolved Scolipede, and evolved Scyther, because I feel like that's a good enough area, and I think with Gym 4, you can kind of give them more solid Pokemon. Obviously, you don't want to give it too much powerful Pokemon, but like overall, I think this is fine. So I gave Yanma the ability Speed Boost instead of Compound Eyes. I feel like giving it more speed will be more scary with something like Silverwind. If I get an Omni Boost, that's really good. And it could relatively be somewhat strong, but again, Yanma's not the greatest Pokemon out there, so overall, it really depends. And I gave it moves Giga Drain, and yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that really changed. I think Giga Drain is a relatively solid move that can be given to it. I think it's fair at Gym 4 because you kind of have an idea what your team wanting to be, right? And then for I also gave it Glycopod, and for its moveset, it's gonna be First Impression slash Bug Bite and Iron Defense. I want to give it relatively solid but not too powerful moves. I think for Gym 4, you probably have strong enough moves already, so I don't think it'll be too much. Especially at level 30. Your Pokemon will probably be a little bit higher, because like in a real game, you'll be higher than gym leaders, most likely over leveling. Unless you just under leveled, which can happen. And then I gave it Scolipede, which is also level 30. Again, I gave it Poison Point, and I gave it the move Bulldozer, because I feel like giving a ground type move, I like ground type as an offensive type, and I think giving it a ground move just helps it a lot more. And then I gave it access to Poison Jab because I feel like it's a good stab move, and I feel like it's fair, especially because Poison isn't that good of a attacking move. It's more of a defensive typing, so it's not that good offensively, except for like Fairy Grass, which suck because you want more than just two typings to hit. And I also give it Bite because I feel like that's also something that's fair enough. And then for my ace, once again, it's Scizor with Technician, level 22, and I gave it Aerial Ace, Bullet Punch, Pounce, and Fury Cutter, because I feel like those are relatively strong and pretty decent moves for Scizor, and I just kind of like it, to be honest. And then going on from Gym 4 is Gym 5. So I evolved the Yanma to Yamega. Now it's a much stronger Pokemon. It is actually pretty scary to fight if you're not prepared, because you have Tinted Lens, so like, no matter what it fights, it's at least going to hit something for neutral damage with a pretty good moveset. Again, Ancient Power gives you Omni Boost. It's 100% accuracy with 60 base power, special move. It gives you good coverage, because Rock can at least hit stuff like fire, so that's good. And then you have Bug Buzz, Air Slash, and Giga Drain. Pretty much the same-ish moveset. Giving it Bug Buzz as a good stab move over Silverwind, because Bug Buzz is just stronger overall. And Air Slash is also really good, just decent stab move. And I feel like that's a good option. Now, I gave Glycopod a level up again, 63, because what else is there really to do except for giving it extra levels? And I gave it Pin Missile, Razor Shell, First Impression, and Sucker Punch. I felt like I need to give First Impression to Glycopod. It's pretty much its signature move, so like, it just feels wrong not giving it to it. Plus, you can only really use it one time, especially during a gym battle, and it'll be stuck with Pin Missile, which isn't the greatest move at times, but overall, I like the idea of it. And then Scolipede is level 38. The levels might be a little bit off. I'm not gonna lie. I'll try to fix them next uh team I make, but overall, I feel like it's not too bad, right? And then I gave it X scissors for more of a power boost, and that's pretty much the only thing that changed other than level and the moves. And then again, Caesar was my ace at 41. I gave it Bullet Punch, Trailblaze, and Aerialis and Pounce. That's pretty much the same set, except I gave it Trailblaze instead of Fury Cutter. I like the move Trailblaze because it gives it more speed and makes it more scarier Pokemon to fight because Scizor is already good. So I feel like that's a really good option to give it. And then moving on from Gym 5 is Gym 6. And I gave it access to an Arachnid. So my idea is it can use Sticky Web and slow down my Pokemon because Gliscopod and Scizor are both relatively slow Pokemon. I feel like it would give it a good option of what I kind of wanted to do, you know? So I gave Sticky Web, Liquidation, Lunge for power lowering, because I can lower your attack will also hit you relatively hard too, and Crunch. Just for a decent coverage move, and I like the idea of this. And then Yanmega is pretty much the same as last time, just level up 43. Gliscopod is pretty much the same thing, except I gave it Swords Dance and Drill Run because I like ground coverage. Again, I really like ground types for offensive typing, and I think most Pokemon should have a ground type move on it. And then Gliscopod, or not Gliscopod, but Scolipede. Again, level up. I gave it speed boost this time because I feel like at Gym 6, you can kind of be more of a tough opponent and be relatively more scary to fight. And I gave it Sword Dance because I kind of feel like okay, Scolipede isn't the strongest Pokemon at the start. You can relatively take it on relatively easy. It has low HP, low special defense, also nice special defense too. But you can take it out relatively easy. So like as long as you're not taking too long, you can beat it relatively easy. Especially with X-Scissors and Poison Jab as its main stab moves. Because again, Poison and Bug aren't the greatest at stab or offensively at all, really. And then once again, Scizor is my main ace. And this time I gave it leftovers. So I feel like at this time you can kind of give it more items. I didn't want to give it at the start, but I feel like now is a good time, right? And at level 47, because I feel like that's a good area to give it, right? And Bullet Punch, doing Beat this time, giving it a better overall move. I know it lost access to it, but like in this new hypothetical region where I'm champion, or not champion, gym leader, I'm gonna give it dueling beat. I don't care. But yeah, Trailblaze and then Pounce once again. Even a good options to attack, right? And then from Gym 7, I'll go into Gym, or sorry, from Gym 6, I'll go to Gym 8, or Gym 7, blah, 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 blah. I swapped out Arachnid for Vikavolt, because I want to give it a relatively better Pokemon, and I think give it more type diversity because Gliscopod are already water. So giving it electric type, which is nice. And this time I kind of gave it them all more items. So I have leftovers for Vikavolt, Levitate, level 49, because I feel like that's a good level. And then again, Sticky Web, Thunderbolt, Bug Buzz, and Hidden Power Ice, because I feel like that's a really good moveset, and I like the idea of it. And then once again, Yanmega is pretty much the same. I gave it heavy duty boots this time because Stealth Rocks, scary, Yanmega dies pretty much from them. And level 50. I feel like that's a good level cap. I like the idea of Yanmega because I just really like Yanmega. It's relatively strong, right? It's not bad at all. And then Gliscopod, I gave it Citrus Berry. My idea is with something like Emergency Exit, it will heal itself and it can be used later on in the game, right? And once again, First Impression, I can reuse First Impression with Emergency Exit, and it will still be relatively healed up, right? But have enough health back. with Liquidation, strong water type move, close combat, strong move, and then Drill Run, because again, strong move. And then with Scolipede, I gave it Black Sludge to heal up more damage, Just a good option. It's pretty much the same as last time, this time with Black Sludge and having level 51. And then for my ace, it's Mega Scizor this time. Giving it to a Mega being level 53, and pretty much the same moveset, but instead of Dual Wing Beat, I gave it Roost, because a little bit of heals. Because I want to be a scary Pokemon that people might be scared of. Obviously, you can easily beat it with a fire type, but this is my idea of having it be more difficult. Because if you don't have a fire type, you might be scared of Mega Scizor, right? And then lastly, for my 8th gym leader team, I kind of switched it up a bit. So I have Vigavolt as usual, but this time I gave it an expert belt because it boosts up the power of super effective moves. And with its pretty good moveset, being Thunderbolt, Bug Buzz, and Energy Ball, it can hit relatively well. With which I still have Stick Web to slow down your Pokemon and boost up my Pokemon speed. And then once again, I have low kicks to swap out with Yamega. As much as I like Yamega, I feel like this is a cooler option because I get first impression, sucker punch with tinted lens. So like you aren't too happy about this because you don't really resist it at all. And then you have Leech Life to heal up and X kick for another pretty good option to attack, right? A good option, right? And then Galezapod comes back again, this time the same moveset, but I gave it Rock Slide and Citrus Berry. And level 55, again, higher level. And then I replaced Scolipede with Volcarona. I gave it heavy duty boost because, again, rocks, scary. I don't want to have it die. And then I gave it a really scary moveset because I feel like this is the second boss of my team, being Quiver Dance, being able to boost up your stats, using Fire Dance as a good way to also power up my special tech. And I have Giga Drain and Bug Buzz just for, again, moves to attack with. Giga Drain heals, Bug Buzz does damage. It is very weak to water types, or I'm sorry, fire types, and it can be scary, but hey, I like the idea of Volcarona. It's a really strong bug. Probably one of, if not the strongest bug. Debatable with Scizor, but yeah. And then again, my ace is Mega Scizor, level 58 with Technician again. And pretty much the same moveset, except instead of Bruce, I gave it Sword Stance to give it a little bit of scariness, right? Because at least with Priority Bullet Punch, I can always hit you first if you don't have a Fire type and you don't resist it. It's a really scary Pokemon. As long as you don't have something like a Golden Goal or something like a Fire type, I would be relatively scared. But overall, I like this idea of my final gym team. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Because I like this idea of making different videos and talking about different teams I would make as a gym leader. And I just like talking about this. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.